From the Atlas Center at the University of Colorado, this is News Team Boulder.
Good afternoon and welcome to News Team Boulder. I'm Ashley.
I'm Vignesh.
And I'm Kiki.
And thanks for joining us. Our first story takes a closer look at one of the members of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and what he's done to save the music.
The Silver Lake Conservatory of Music is a quaint storefront nestled in a hipster block of Los Angeles called Sunset Junction. Just before 3:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, kids stream through the door, putting drumsticks, violins, and guitar cases, the latter taller than they are. They're here to learn the traditional fundamentals of playing an instrument. In the corner, a wiry man with tattooed knuckles is playing the piano. It's Flea, the bass guitarist from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He founded the nonprofit music school in 2001 with his childhood friend Tree, aka Keith Berry, who teaches and serves as the conservatory's dean. The two were band geeks together in junior high and high school. Around the time of the Chili Peppers' Californication tour, Flea took in a basketball game and happened to sit next to a woman who introduced herself as the music teacher at his alma mater in LA, Fairfax High. She invited him for a visit. Quote, "I went there and it was just barren. No funding, no instruments, nothing. It made me feel empty inside. That's when I thought I need to start a music school, a nonprofit music school. Anyone who wants to go can go. I was lucky enough to have the dough and this place is flourishing," end quote. Of the school's 900 students, 25% are on scholarship, those who can afford to pay $25 per half-hour lesson. Flea and Tree hope to expand the number to 50% as the budget for music education shrinks in public schools.
Using new methodology, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention has revised its estimate for the total number of deaths caused by the swine flu. The new figures will result in a tripling of the number of deaths from H1N1 overnight. While the official estimates have not yet been released, it appears that the tally of deaths from the novel form of influenza will rise from around 4,000 up from 1,200 as first reported Wednesday by the New York Times. The changes reflect new surveillance methods thought to be more accurate, but also show that figuring out the death toll from influenza is not a precise science. Quote, "We don't really know how many cases of H1N1 have been truly." That was Dr. Len Horowitz, a pulmonary specialist at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York. The problem is the difficulty of testing every patient to confirm a diagnosis, which is outweighed by the benefits of immediately treating patients for flu-like symptoms. Quote, "Seasonal flu numbers have been soft based on excess deaths more than diagnosis." That was John Barry, author of The Great Influenza. Quote, "Many, if most, of the deaths attributed to the influenza and seasonal flu are quite indirect. Each case of the influenza is not reported either with the seasonal flu or in a pandemic like H1N1, and therefore the subsequent deaths are not always immediately traceable to a specific cause of death," end quote, said Dr. Frank James, a health officer in San Juan County in Washington. And he's also an associate professor at the University of Washington. Coming up after the break, a food fight at an elementary school turns into probable jail time. We'll explain more after the break.
A mi Juan le cuesta mucho hacer la tarea. ¿Cómo puedo ayudar? By coming here, you're already helping. Teachers have a lot to learn from you.
Dice que ya con venir aquí estás ayudando, que los maestros tienen mucho que aprender de ti.
By the way, he's been a little mischievous lately.
Dice que me porto requete bien.
Juan.
Hables inglés o no, debes participar en la educación de tu hijo. Aprende cómo llamando.
Only you
can prevent forest fire.
And it's true. We know we can count on you to do what Rocky says.
drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Rocky says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
A mi Juan le cuesta mucho hacer.
Hundreds of Facebook groups have been hijacked in recent days by users pointing out what they say is a weakness in how the social networking site handles the administration of its groups. By Tuesday morning, 286 groups had apparently been renamed Control Your Info and had a new message posted to their walls. Hello, we hereby announce that we have officially hijacked your Facebook group. This message reads, this means we control a certain part of the information about you on Facebook. If we wanted, we could make you appear in a bad way, which could damage your image severely. According to Control Your Info, when Facebook group administrators step down, anyone else can take over their duties, giving them access to members' personal information, the ability to send messages to all members of the group, and the authority to make changes to that group. Among the groups renamed Control Your Info on Tuesday were a Twilight fan group, supporters of a high school football team, and patrons of a Virginia winery. Facebook did not immediately respond to an interview request for this report. A message on your Control Your Info's website blamed Facebook for shutting down the group's fan page. Members of the group could not be reached for comment Tuesday. The group's site contains pages of tips on protecting social network users' private information. Not all members of the groups that were hijacked were taking the stunt in the spirit it was apparently intended. And that
is all we have for tonight. I'm Kiki.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Vignesh.
And thanks for joining us.